Alrighty, how is everybody doing today? It is Wednesday! I wanted to play some Ace Attorney music before stream started. Hopefully it's not too loud, but I'll turn it down just a little bit because I know it can be... Okay, my Discord's doing something weird. Where is all my stuff? Totally tubular. Also, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to... Yeah, I'm still doing that, unfortunately. Okay, I think I got everything. Hello, everyone. I'm here. You're here. We're here. We're playing some Ace Attorney today. I had a little mini panic attack before stream because I thought that my capture card wasn't working because it looked like it wasn't good. I was like, excuse me, sir and or madam and or neither or both capture card, however you identify. This is the plug-in setup thing that I have, and I have not changed it since the last time we did something, which I believe was also Ace Attorney, because I was like, wait, did I fix it for Okami? Anyway, it's not broken, and it works now. And yeah, be cool, capture card. My problem was the, my cord management could use some work. Let's just leave it at that. The power strip that I have a lot of things plugged into, it wasn't turned on. It, like, while I was cleaning, actually, because my desk needed to be dusted and all that, I had bumped it and it hit the button it's one of those switchy ones where it's like, it has a little surge protector, blah, 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 and it got flipped off. So there was no power in it, even though it was plugged in. You guys know how this works. Anyway, yeah. Hope you guys have had a good week so far. We're halfway through if you haven't. Haha. Happy hump day. Last night, I finished Rain Code. If you guys happen to catch my tweets or me in the Discord, basically like waving my hands at the sky like a crazy person. I finished Rain Code, which was the new game for your wisdom teeth are missing now. Are you how soon after the procedure are you? Are you like full chipmunk cheek, or are you? I hope you're not in pain. I hope you're not in pain is what I'm trying to say, because I remember having that done and that was not a fun experience. It was this. Oh my gosh, Charlie! Oh my god, are you okay? Did you get ice cream? Did you get some mac and cheese? I think that was what I had when I first ate my, I almost said after I first ate my wisdom teeth. I did not eat my wisdom teeth. Let the record show. I did not eat my wisdom teeth. They were taken out by a medical dental professional. But I think I ate mac and cheese. Hell yeah. I hope it's that really, really good mac and cheese with like a little extra cheese. That Gouda cheese, not like a... Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't think you really want to keep it. Teeth are so... Actually, I have a podcast that I listen to, and there is one of the hosts of that podcast has a jar of teeth that fans have just like donated. She's really weird. She also has a jar of bones, of goat bones. Oh, yeah, see? Yeah, for witchy stuff. For witchy stuff. Sorry. But hey, there's other bones you could donate if you wanted. But also, yes, like Sasha said, take care of your mouth, because that's a rough ride. That's a wisdom teeth are no joke. And then there's those lucky ducks around that they just like don't, their wisdom teeth grow in straight and they don't have to do anything about it, which is stupid and unfair. I'm gonna try not to cough. I feel like I'm a little more today. I'm fine. It's just I feel like the tickle in the back of your throat, just irritating. I hope I'm not like getting reinfected, since I know that that's like a possibility. But we're not even, you know what? I'm taking it back. We're not even putting that in the universe. You sneezed twice and then I'm so sorry. I feel you. I'd cry too. I feel you. Cry it out. Cry it out. Mouth surgery sucks. All right, before we get started, I'm gonna do my warnings like I normally do. There's the Does the Dog Die link, and then here are the trigger warnings and content warnings for Ace Attorney, or Great Ace Attorney Chronicles specifically. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles contains blood and gore, both visual and audio depictions, gun violence, animal death, death and suicide, alcohol and substance abuse, some domestic violence, self-harm, snakes, anxiety attacks, hospitals, bone breaking, hanging, suffocation, burial alive. There's some anti-Semitism and xenophobia as like themes because it's like they're like back in the historical era. I mean, anything is a historical era, but you know what I'm saying. So there's kind of vibes like that. There's some fat jokes, unfortunately. There's flashing lights. Not really super bad, but you know, there's cutaways and things, as well as shaky cam, just as like little camera effects for the suspense and whatnot. And there's some, there could be some claustrophobic scenes involved, so warning for that as well. But that's it, and if you need those ever again, the trigger warning, either TW, CW, or the word warning, all of those preceded by, it is quite the list, Casey, but oh my god, I'm sorry, I don't want to cough into the mic. It is quite the list, but it is also a murder mystery game. So, you know, murder mysteries. But if you need to step away for a minute, totally understand. I got you. All right. I can't remember what we were doing last time. I can't remember if we were in the middle of a case or we were leading up to a case. I know we talked to Herlock a lot. So, I'm excited to get back with him and his shenanigans. Gonna be a good time, I think. All right. I think my hello, Switch? Switch, hello? Hello? Hold on. There we are. There we are. Oh. Can y'all hear that? We were on this one. Wait a minute. Where's my, oh, continue. I was like, why did it take me away from this menu? Duh. Let's turn this up for me, and I'm going to open a little window so I can see it over here. It's pretty quiet. How's this? Is this too quiet? I can keep talking and stuff if maybe I... Oh god, no, oh, what? What's happening? Why'd it stop? Ah! What happened? What the fuck? Hello? It died. What the hell? Try again. Oh, it just went to sleep. Sometimes it doesn't. Bruh. Okay. Whew. Okay.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I know. I'm a failure. All right. I'm gonna leave it at negative 6.9 decibels because it looks like the sex number when I do it that way. Haha. Okay, I'm 12 years old. Continue. We are continuing, and we were in the middle of the second case. We were on Briar Road, Memoirs of the Clouded Cockerel. I think what we were gonna do, let me review the court record. I'm also gonna turn it down for myself because I'm scared it's gonna be loud again. Pair of teacups. Oh yes, Sham Spear. I forgot Sham Spear. My captions are gonna keep correcting it to Shakespeare, but it is not Shakespeare. What the fuck? Why does it keep doing this? Why? What the hell? Watching you. Capture card. Shamsphere, Natsume. Oh, we were in that apartment again. There was the soap. The book receipt. Okay, I think I'll pick it up. I think we needed to go to the jail. I think that's what we needed to do. We were gonna go talk to our friend. Hopefully not the cursed switch. Ah, yes, this is the correct thing to do because it's giving me the dialogue box. Always a good sign. All right, February 21st. And yes, I'm going to read it in the American way because I am an American. February 21st, local prison cell 9.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Natsume, have the police finished questioning you now?
Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Oh, yes? What is he? Tell me! Is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me? Let me guess. You're talking about Mr. Sholmes.
He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsume, not a ghost.
What is diabolical deductions? They're not of this world. They've left me. Ah, cursed! Speaking of curses, LOL. I'm cursed, I tell you. Well, that sort of hurts.
Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo. You were heavily involved in the deduction too.
Yes, moving on. We have some wonderful news.
Oh! The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again.
He's come back to life. That's right, he, did his little thing. Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempted murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume? It's terrible! Oh, I'm stuck in this cell, suffering for some silly wrong end of the stick. You did it, didn't you? Confess, you're a killer. Why the mustache? Constant questions. I'm sorry to hear that. Ah, that selfish shyster! Make up your mind! Are you dead or alive? If you were going to come back to life, why bother dying? Wickedly wishy-washy William! Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shamsphere was never actually dead in the first place. Ah, yes, that might make sense, and I'm pleased that he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was much fun. I'd be sad to think it was our last. Oh. Oops. Aha, you admitted it. You saw him. You were the last one to see. You were the last one to see him alive. Except he's also still, so you weren't the last one to see him alive. You were the last one to see him before he died, but then came back to life. It makes sense, I swear. Mr. Natsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You met with Mr. Shamsphere, didn't you? Bruh, why is this? What is happening? Why is my Switch continuing to do this? I feel like I missed something because I'm not saying another word. I demand to have a lawyer present. Who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsume, we need to hear your side of the story. Why does it keep freezing? I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I have to keep doing this. I'm like so scared. If I don't see something moving on screen, then I'm not going to be able to tell. I know, it's just, it's like it's going in and out, but I don't know why it would be doing that. I'm not touching any wires. Is it the controller? Is it because it's... Should I maybe play with it plugged in so that way it doesn't... I don't want to miss anything. I'm scared to move. I'm scared if I bump it in any direction that it's gonna... Okay, well... Okay. Oh, why am I cursed like this? Cursed existence. Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself, I've noticed. That you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time I've learned that it's no place for me.
It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture.
There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I find no respite from my fears. I've moved more times than I can remember. And then 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. But why? I mean, why did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent is cheap. I have so little money. It spoke to me.
The rent?
Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed how? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no! He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I did! When the letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money!
Who's gonna pay my rent? $350. Like Tony Abbott, the motherfucker. He can't even house people. Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit! But I want books, and books cost money! A horrible history is a small price to pay. Is it, though? When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered? But after I moved in, I soon came to realize what I'd done. I realized how horrible that room's history really was.
Gosh, was it really so awful?
I mean, was it? Oh, the horrible history. Bruh. I swear to God. I'm gonna unplug it and I'm gonna plug it back in. And we're gonna see if that helps. And I'm gonna set it down gently.
Bruh.
And then I'm gonna activate it again. And then I'm gonna carefully... Okay. How did the room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened? At first, it was just a feeling. The feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. Do you think that might just have been your mind playing tricks on you? No, my mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. My mind doesn't know any tricks. I'm gonna use that. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean? All the souls who've died in that room lean over me in my sleep and try to strangle me. That really is horrible. And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night too. Yeah, he's tweaking. The very same night that Mr. Shamspear was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room.
You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible.
Yes, you're right, I know it, and that's why. I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home.
I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodation with any kind of history at all. Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself... Wow! Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself may become history.
Ooh, Susanoo-san knows how to make the man listen. What happened? Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Mr. Natsume?
There's nothing to tell! But, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire, I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that accursed case yesterday.
The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back.
It's hard to believe that was only yesterday.
After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lonely lodgings. And that evening, at past 9 it must have been, I visited Mr. Shamspear. So you did go to the victim's room then?
As we feared.
I didn't do anything wrong! I'd never been to his room before, it was the first time! Then what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got chatting and it developed into a discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. That ties in with what Mr. Garadeb said.
Hey, yo!
Hey, yo! That the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening at around 9 or just after when I took him some nice tea I'd brewed as a gift. So it was you who brought the tea that had clearly been drunk at the scene then.
And I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, were you?
Yes, that's right! That's exactly right! Romeo and Juliet! Who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. Neither one. Neither one of them. One was 13 and one was a weirdo. Oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. Marbles? I spent my money on books! I'm sure. Such a stimulating...
Hey, yo!
Such a stimulating subject, Shakespeare. Stimulating. And the debate became very heated, so you slipped poison into Mr. Shamspear's tea. No! Never! Not at all! Team Juliet won, that was me! And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit! I swear it, categorically! Of course, Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You mean Mr. Garadeb? Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, he'll never be able to rent it out again. Well, that's true. I, for one, wouldn't go near the place.
Perhaps that may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements.
You mean because he's worried about their well-being? He does seem to have an unusually keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. There must be a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants of his let rooms. It's probably expensive. What do you mean he pays so much attention to the gas lamps?
Oh dear, no, it's nothing to do with you, Mr. Natsume. Please, forget I said anything.
Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well. What's important is that Mr. Shamspear isn't in fact dead at all. Once he's come round and he's able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released. Yes, please! Oh, I do hope you're right! I don't know who's speaking, but excuse me. Oh! It's this guy. Inspector Gregson! I couldn't help overhearing what you just said, and on that note, I have some good news and some bad news.
Oh?
Which do you want first? And don't ask for any of my fish and chips, I ain't sharing them. Always, every time, the bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Right, well, in that case, the good news it is. Huh? Sorry, but it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way. Then why did you ask me my preference? As you might have heard, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, was just unconscious. He's come round now. Yes, we saw it happen in all its terrifying glory. He's still being treated by the doctors, but we've managed to get a written statement from him already.
Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsume?
Oh,
Oh, thank goodness it's all over then. I can leave this somber cell.
Sorry, no, that's not on the cards.
What? I have a note, Inspector.
Mr. Shamspear has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone?
Oh dear. You don't mean...
I'm sorry to say I do, yes. He's pointed the finger at you, Mr. Natsume.
Ah!
By sweet poison did he seek it to end my life. That wickedest caitiff. Caitiff? I don't know what that word is. I'm gonna look it up. Let's learn together, everybody. We're learning vocabulary. It's obviously archaic, but how's... Caitiff. A contemptible or cowardly person. A caitiff. No! So I'm afraid you'll be appearing in court as planned. You'll be wanting to make the necessary preparations.
No!
You're going to court! And so, once again, Saseki-san found himself having to take the dock in the Old Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day, I would represent him in court and do my utmost to break the curse that blighted him. Am I getting it to be continued? There it is. Maybe I should have played a little bit longer when I last stopped. That's okay. We're continuing anyway. Let's do save 5 because I feel like it. All right, February 22nd, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line, whoever's saying that. Oh, that's my line!
Good morning!
Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume.
It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here.
Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back.
But now this!
Bruh, it was going so well. I really thought it was going so well, and it did it again. Why? Literally, why? I can't think of a reason. It's just on something else today. Is it the plug? Is it because I wonder if my power strip is just like fucked and so it keeps surging. Maybe that'll last us the whole time. No, it won't, but we're gonna try.
Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court!
I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh.
More bad news?
Mr. Natsume, good morning.
I am gonna throw this fucking switch. You know what? Y'all give me just a tick, because I'm gonna put an angle something, and I think I almost wonder if it's the adapter and not. We're gonna try something, and if this doesn't work, then well, I'm incorrect, and I'll just keep trying other stuff, but I'll be right back.
A body has been discovered!
Oh my god, killers! This is real! This is real! Piss on your enemies to cause psychic damage! I am a little spookified right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not going. Jesus! Okay! You got me! You got me! Creepy child laughter indeed.
Is it graffiti? It's everywhere! Oh my god, it's literally on the ground! What? What? How? Why? What?
I just gotta keep it. For 10 seconds, I can do it! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! No! You saw that! Come on! Y'all saw that! You all saw that! I'm not kink shaming. I'm just kink asking why. What the fuck? Why is she glistening though? You know what? You know what? Let's not. We're gonna. Okay. No. 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 No, no. No, no, no. No, y'all saw that, right? With his head, and it turned, and it said, "Why did you let me die?" I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Sir, you can't.
I can't. What the fuck? Was I supposed to lose that?
Sunny? Here, you alright? You've been staring into space for like 5 minutes now. What were you daydreaming about, Sunny? Your expression, it was so peaceful.
Here it comes!
Yep. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. Amazing, Joker! Leave this to me. Payback time. Squeeze me.
Don't do that.
Beep,
Oh,
boop.
don't
Yeah,
do that.
we've got
Don't
casualties.
like it when you do that. Don't like it when you do that. Ah! The maidens! Oh, the maidens!
I'm being chased by ladies! They're so mean!
The battle standard from the Steel Vigil. You're too kind. This is a most unexpected gift. Chodebait was a good man. I do believe I just saw your companion move. Oh no! She what? I'm not turning my back. Absolutely not. So he can what? Bash my brains in the minute I have my back to him? Bullshit. Woo! Nope. Yoko? Oh god. Wait, she doesn't look any different. What did I fucking say? What did I fucking say? What did I just say? What did I say? It worked, and I was still curious enough to look. I'm so stupid. I called it though. I fell for it. I called it, but I fell for it. I got better. No shot wasted.
I think I got it. Maybe.
Wait, can
I'm
I fly
hoping.
now?
I'm hoping I got it. I see the thing moving. Just for good measure, we're gonna do a 1 and a 2 real quick. I'm gonna open up a new source thing so that way. So what I've done, nope, it just stopped again. It literally just stopped again right after the victory. Why? I don't understand. It has to be something with the capture. Because it's just... This is so weird. I was before, and I did replug in the HDMI. But the other thing was, I thought maybe that I had like a little adapter, and I changed it to the actual Switch dock, so that way it's plugging directly into the dock instead of through the adapter. My fear, because this is like a third-party thing, and my fear is that it's not made with like the best materials, or it got fried before the dock. I don't know. So I'm using official hardware now, is basically what I'm trying to say. And it's still, I'm like using the little icon of the little arrow on the dialog box to like determine if it's freezing. The sound is still there, right? Okay, yeah, the sound's there. I really, oh my god, I'm gonna cry if my... Oh, it stopped again. I'm gonna cry if my capture card is the problem, because... Oh my god, why? Why today? Why is it doing this to me? I don't understand. This is like, I don't use this HDMI all that much, so it can't be like it's stripped or anything. It's also so dark because I have the lights on me. This is all plugged in. They all feel pretty secure too, so it's not like I'm like totally sitting on the mic. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it decides randomly to just screw with me. I don't see anything. I'm gonna just... We're gonna do this. Fuck it, I'll do it live. Okay, that's plugged in again. Making sure none of these are loose. Let's see here. What is this? Plug this. Maybe if I plug this directly into my computer and not in my other adapter. We're just gonna see. We're gonna see if this works. Please. Pray to whatever technological god we have to. Deity, spirit, demon. Once more with feeling. Please, 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 please. Okay. It's up again, it's running, so everything's plugged in where it needs to be so it'll show up and... But will it stay? That's the thing. Will it stay? Alright, here we are again. Oh, Dark Lord, please answer my prayer for the capture to capture and the crime to be solved. And... Oh, happy day. Will it blend? Yes, again. Judicial Assistant Mitz Mikatoba Esquire S. What's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. You've done nothing wrong with Susanoo. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Beric Van Zieks. Van Zieks. Ah! Oh no! Oh no, no! Uh-oh. He's back. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land. With his sassy little... In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth. We managed to pull through, but still... Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter. After all... Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says... Nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Van Zieks is the prosecutor. Oh no! But even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another. And we've experienced it firsthand. A man we successfully defended met with the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. He sure did. He kinda deserved it, though. Turns out he was awful. Ah! Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper! Pair of petrifying perils, potentially! Well, if it's potentially... At least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Yes? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now! Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. I'm so scared it's gonna fuck up again. Please, though. Please work. Well. The trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go. Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it, Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh. If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as weakness. If Lord Van Zieks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right! Yes, you're so right! Oh, well said, locum student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire, well said! I swear on this sword at my side and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free with honor. Oh, yes! Let's do it! Also, last time I tried to do a German accent for Van Zieks, that will not be happening. I'm going... A, because I'm not good at it, and B, because it's kind of hard for me to try to be good at it for as much as he speaks. It's just not happening this time. This time, I'm going with the generic British man accent, okay? It's gonna have gusto, but it's gonna be British. It's not gonna be German. I can't do it. I can't do a German accent. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hydrate now, because I'm about to voice like 14 different people at once. Please forgive me. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. He looks like a vampire. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend. Not what the defense needs. Or is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just in my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Zieks has such an animosity toward us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Ooh. Deep breath, buddy, deep breath. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Absolutely. I had a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before. I feel like I've seen you before, bud. Her too. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight or the missus will go through the roof. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London, chosen at random. Or at least, that's the idea. I've seen at least 4 out of the 6 up there. Probably 5 out of the 6 up there, actually. I think there's really only 1 new character up there. The prosecution will draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Ah, that's why. That's why. Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zieks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past deduction. Knock on wood, but yes, knock on wood. Oh shit, I missed that line. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Is he a vampire? I don't know. He drinks a lot of wine. Or, supposedly, he drinks a lot of wine. He drinks a lot of red liquid that he says is wine. But, the jury is still out. I'm so clever. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime. Namely, that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand. Whew! The cloak is off. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. I'd let him do... Oh! Casey's like, oh my god. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, I. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Soseki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Oh, that was my bailiff voice. That was a little too nasally for the judge. Oh, yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken. That you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday. That's because of the day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. It's a little too nasally for the judge. The incident occurred at the Garadeb household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shakespeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine. Strychnine, I feel like I've heard that before. He was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right, everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Cool. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes! Yes! As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted! Haunted by evil spirits! Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me? What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. You must always extinguish fires, all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold, my runny nose would freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. If I could raise one more point, my lord, one more. Conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. I love the hand thing. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Oh, good grief! Sorry, had a little cough. Order! Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result! Never will I touch tea again! Never! The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before. That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection. None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. Yes. Yes, my lord. Is that what the issue is? Is my Creative Cloud updating? Just saw my little Creative Cloud be like, it's time for an update. A catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Ah! My tea was completely harmless! He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. Is it strychnine or strychnine? I feel like it's strychnine. I'm actually looking at my captions to see if it takes, it didn't even take the word. It's like, I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't get to my mute button in time, I'm so sorry. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands.
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they?
Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no, we haven't been able to.
Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance?
How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? It's simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. Like me right now. Excuse me? With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question.
I see, thank you. The matter is clear.
Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see it in their faces, I'm sure, the recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't.
Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Okay, let's not fuck this up. I don't know what the contradiction is yet, but we'll find it.
Hold it!
Were you and your neighbor good friends then?
Ah, no! We weren't friends! Not at all! Not at all! Never! Ever!
You weren't friends? A simple no would have sufficed. Were you enemies, though? Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shakespeare fancies himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Ugh, come now, no Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature. Dude, that's fucking racist. Buddy. Jeez, they really laid on thick with him. And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume. It was the day of my last trial. When I was acquitted, I'd just arrived back at my lodgings. When I ran into Mr. Shakespeare outside on the street, that was at around 6 o'clock. We exchanged 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, though, so I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate. But did I have ill intentions? No! Not 1! Not 2! Not any! Not at all! Never! Ever! A simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Then tell the court what did happen when you visited the victim's room. Heated literary debate over a nice hot drink.
Hold it!
A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you?
Shakespeare? Ah, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say.
Oh yes, my lord! Romeo and Juliet! Who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parlay!
Romeo and Juliet?
Who was stronger? I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with the reenactment. So we battled it out, in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Yeah, actually, what? Mr. Shamspeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for such a contest. So, when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? He as Romeo and I as Juliet, and after a vigorous, wild tussle... Hey, yo, what? What? Methinks something else happened that night. I as Juliet came out on top! Oh my! A victory I'll cherish forever! Okay. Okay, Soseki. I see you. I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was.
And do you have any basis for that statement, witness?
Couldn't have locked the door behind you. But could he have? Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume? Yes, definitely! By heaven and earth, I swear it! The landlord was able to verify that, as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night.
And how is the landlord able to attest to this?
He, said it was the lamps, I believe.
The lamps, Inspector?
When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker.
Yes, Mr. Geradeb seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants.
There's only one key to Mr. Shamspeare's room, I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right! My tea was harmless, completely harmless! If you take poison, you die! Everyone knows that! It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? Takes some time to have an effect, and they don't keel over immediately. How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison's consumed. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. So there's the 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seem to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure.
Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful.
30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that, and it further degrades Soseki-san's alibi. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it.
Very well, the court will add this report to the court record as evidence,
And I need to look at it immediately. I want to see what the medical report says.
Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms.
Let me see it. Please. Sorry. Victim William Shamspeare, 31. Cause of coma. Ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. The toxic effects presented 30 minutes after ingestion. The poison for Cusco! High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. I also said investigative, like he ingested it. Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on the 21st of February, assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. If the poisoning occurred at 1:30, if he collapsed onto the table, breaking his watch at 1:30 or around 1:30, then that would put the actual poisoning, the ingestion of the poison, at 1 o'clock. What did Soseki say? That it, where did I can't remember what timeline he already gave us. I didn't even know he had a pocket watch. He's got a fork. What else? What else we got? Torn off end of an envelope. Can I look at the? I can look at the teacups. They're pink and green. There's a rim. This must be the cup that Mr. Shamspear was drinking from then. It's stained on the inside.
He does that, I'm afraid, even green tea.
Oh, really? I've never noticed before.
You've never noticed?
Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it?
Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture, and most of them are Japanese. This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking.
Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean.
I suppose he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark.
I always gulp it down too.
Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, if you just sip it little by little, it goes cold.
Maybe I shall have to instruct you on the proper way to take tea.
I got a new clue from that. I like that they're kind of chipped. Lint toxinates your digestatory system. I guess that's really the only clue I can get from these cups right now, because it's not lighting up in any way. I must have already investigated the envelope, so... Okay. Do I have anything else? No, that's really it. Alright, well, whatever. Great. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after the guest left. The argument still stands.
Hold it!
The argument still stands, you say? This is what Mr. Natsume has been saying, isn't it? The pair of them drank tea together that night, so if there was poison in it, the victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on. Exactly! Ah, me and my tea are innocent, sweet and innocent, I tell you! I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strike 9 is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. So you could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. And as long as you did that, Mr. Shamspear could have locked the door after you'd gone. But no! We drank the tea straight away! The battle over whether Romeo or Juliet was stronger, that came after the tea! Do you have any evidence to support that statement? In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying, drink tea while it's hot! Sure, a proverb will satisfy the prosecution.
I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there are sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in the matter.
No! That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo.
Of course, go ahead.
Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence so adamantly and so persistently, yet Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating.
I agree. So we need to find an inconsistency in what the inspector is saying, I think.
I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty.
As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Let's listen carefully to the testimony again. So, that's gonna be the clue that the statement to actually object to is gonna be one of Gregson's. And he only has like 2. So we're getting somewhere. Skip. Skip, skip. Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The victim would have been... Am I being like... Am I overthinking this? Maybe it's supposed to be like... Since the victim's tea had a ring on it, like the cup had a ring on it, it actually did cool in the cup and left a mark. So he drank his slower. So he actually probably consumed the poison later, which he had to have if our client's innocent. I guess maybe the teacups? Hold on. I'm just gonna try it. I'm not entirely confident it's correct, but... Yeah, it's all I have. I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Objection.
Nope, wrong. It's clearly contradictory. Yeah, I know. Undeniably.
You say it's undeniable, Counsel, but I fail to see any contradiction here at all.
You know what? Weirdly enough, you and me both, buddy. I think perhaps that itself is the contradiction.
Indeed.
Time for a rethink. Went back to room at around 11. Okay. That doesn't... Then okay.
Objection.
There it is. The timelines don't match up. That's what... Okay, so the clue that they gave me was actually more of a detriment than... and then help. Whatever. We got there. Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct?
Yes.
And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine. I like how he calls him Sunshine. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony. A chrono what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. No, it consumed at 1 in the morning because the time stopped when he fell and collapsed from symptoms at 1:30. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Ah! Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Ah! Wow, they're in sync.
The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zeeks?
Oh, is it wine time? Is it wine time? Is it wine time? Wine time, everybody! Cheers, my dears! Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. Clink! I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice with this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? Oh no! I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned, other possibilities.
What sort of possibilities, Counsel?
I haven't gotten to that yet. Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor. That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition.
You suggest that this may have been a suicide, Counsel.
Objection!
Mr. Shamspirit has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection!
That was such a weak little slap, did you? But he could be lying! That's not a very good argument. Anybody could be lying. Wow, he's just like, I have to sit with how stupid that argument is for a second. Oh no, he's doing the arm cross of displeasure.
Is something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks?
I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside. That was not the voice I gave him. I forgot to do a voice because I was reading. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Is it Mr. Shamspire himself? Not surprised at all. Hello? Oh my god. Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Look at him. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Mr. Shamspire, everybody.
Who, sir, are you?
William Shamspire, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim. What? What's he doing here? Why does he have a scepter? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness?
Very well, Counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself.
Look at him. Happy am I, Shamspire, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English.
And that will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim.
Oh boy. Oh boy. What bullshit awaits us here? Who's this bozo? All right, so that's Mr. Shamspear. But who's that other man beside him?
Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before.
State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses.
A writer of words so sweet, they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound, they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. Were the great bard to be recalled to life anew, lo, what a magnificent man. Fucking theater kids, am I right? Just kidding. I say, as a theater kid. As a theater kid! Actually, I did have a friend in theater that... he was obsessed with... he really was obsessed with William Shakespeare. And he, like, made it a point. He's like, I'm reading all of William Shakespeare's works. And he would, like, always quote... Even as a theater kid, we were all like, oh my god. Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Oh, the name's Meter Man. Adron B. Meter Man. I work for the Altamount Gas Company, East End branch office. Oh, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road.
Oh yes, she's right, it's him. He works for the gas company. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
Excuse me, could we have a word? He moves like a Rankin and Bass character. I feel like I said that last time. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garridub's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee. What does he have to do with this case?
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that didst cross me and cross mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Getting the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me's a seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all.
The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid.
They're actually taking the seraph anagram idea seriously?
Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions.
But my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean. Oh, what? Me? Oh, well now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence. When you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question, and moreover that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin-stroker here is to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman? Hang on, no, I'm just here. I hereby call for your let me try that again.
I hereby call for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent. The wintry night of my discontent. The snow lay about. My neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, naught else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Easton fella. Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspeare's room all night? That's right. Of course, the bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. The question is, why? Well now, that's because he's on my list. What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? What are you talking about? Oh, thanks, Casey. I try. This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words. What do you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more.
Indeed, that is so.
And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Mumble, 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 whisper, 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 whisper.
Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial.
Dude. Buddy. Friend. Pal. No.
Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Okay. Let's do it. I hate how this guy's mouth moves. I know that's weird to say, but legitimately I don't like it. To be clear, by neighbor, you're referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume. Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs. And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come, to tender a gift of fragrant tea.
Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes?
And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. By which I presume he means...
Their discussion about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet.
I, Shamspeare, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbour played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be, to bring weight upon our merry experiment.
I dare not imagine the scene.
Frailty, thy name is woman. Fuck off.
Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was?
Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of jujitsu, but... ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up? Wait, with jujitsu? This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly, I would do thy bidding.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. No, it was after 1. It said 1:30. That is not after 2. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. That's not correct. Wait a minute. You're getting confused, sir. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? He's just jamming to the music, and I want to jam with him. And then I go this way, a wibbly wobbly woo. And then I go back this way, a wibbly wobbly woo. Can you just imagine this man in court, like, really doing this? If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time, 2.5, is something you're going to have to explain.
Gladly, 'tis an easy task. 'Tis an easy task, I'll gladly explain.
What?
I did...
God damn it. This is sending me.
I did drink of the tea while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me... Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily, were my lips parched.
Objection.
That doesn't sound normal.
Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea.
Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? Mr. Shamspeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Do not come here with the intention of naming your attacker.
But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil.
Ugh, we all know what that means.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal, dinner, supper?
Fie on luxury! Fie on gluttony! To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time.
Sorry?
I would that my belly were full no more oft than the sun doth rise.
You'll eat once a day, buddy?
Well, most heroic eating habits, I must...
No, it's not. That's bad for you.
Night and day do I fill my hours with learned study.
Learned, I should say. Learned, not learned.
Learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence, is it that there doth not in my chamber be then the costumes of mine art?
Hence is it that doth not in my... Wait, hold on. Ooh. Hence is it that there doth not in my chamber... That there doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of mine art. Woo! That was some syntax right there. That would appear to be the case, even as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room.
Now that I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play or script anywhere. For I have devoured them all.
Oh my god, was he eating his books? You've eaten them?
Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise?
Right. That wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. I feel like I haven't given anybody a Cockney accent this time. I feel like I should have slipped it in there. I'll do it next time. But the windows of that house have all been filled in.
A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax.
Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap.
Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there?
And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body. Okay, what's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No! He never left! He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be so sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself, It's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle.
Yes. Lucidly explained, Counsel. Thank you.
It really was. You can't argue with that logic. No one else visited the... What do you have to say about this? Press everything first. That's what I gotta do. I gotta press everything first, and then we can look at the evidence. You say a short little round-backed Eastern fella, so you can't be sure it was the defendant then.
Objection!
How many other short little round-backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap, and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspeare drink tea together? Did he? Sorry, I couldn't say. Why not? Because couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? What I did see was the silhouette of that little round-back fella wearing a pretty dress. Then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. Some sort of wrestling match.
I suppose that was with the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question! Gasman's honor! It's gonna be so sucky. Wrestling. Oh, it's him. My lord!
Goodness me, yes, Mr. Foreman.
I've kept my mouth shut and listened up till now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you've reached a unanimous decision? All right, we have. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Oh, we're fucked. Wait, no, the defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it.
But in the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see.
And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Maybe I'll give this guy a cock. I feel like oh, fuck, whatever. I'll just... Whatever I gave him. I think I gave him the same voice as the gas man, but now I have to go back. God damn it. Okay. Like I was saying before, if I... No, that's the... Fuck. Hold on. Sorry, I had a... Oh my god, I'll find it. I'll find it in my head. A Cockney accent. There it is. I was like, where is this in my brain? Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow it up.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well, let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will you state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability?
Guilty!
Oh no.
Guilty.
No!
Guilty.
Fuck you.
Guilty.
You all suck.
Guilty.
No! What? That was not your... That was not the voice I gave you.
Oh no. Oh no. No.
All of you?
Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous.
Oh shit, it's wine time again. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty of being punished. Actually, no, I don't want to toast to that. I lost. I'm gonna drink anyway, though.
Get up, Mr. Norohodo, please. The trial isn't over yet.
What do you mean, Miss Susanoo? Don't you remember the thing?
What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have?
Is he allowed to drink? Probably not, but I mean, he's the Reaper of the Bailey, so I think they kind of just let him do what he wants.
That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations, remember?
A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in a British court of law, if we can reverse the decisions of a majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth.
Certainly no other defense counselor in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination.
Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered.
Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld.
Ha! And that's why you're not the judge.
The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with a summation examination outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law.
Encyclopedia? Thank you, my lord.
Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman?
Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. We're ready for it!
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused.
Oh boy! Now it becomes the battle of the accents! I can do this! The jurors' contentions.
The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy. I'm clearly a very racist British person.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a Frenchman. For now, at least.
I really don't care, like, I just need— that's not the voice I gave you. What? And I fucking—
I really don't care, like, I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all.
That's not relevant. Well, kind of relevant. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced, except for the lady who was like, for now.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
You ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. Yes, his strange theatrical movements. Truly a very convincing dance he did up on that stand.
And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I've pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before, and it worked, so you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Norohodo.
Oh.
Well, you're still very new to British law, after all.
That's true, I suppose. And Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susanoo-san out. Yeah, I kind of probably— I need a refresher. I wonder, should I let her talk me through— yeah, go ahead and refresh my memory.
Alright, so if you remember, the key to changing the jurors' minds is the things that they say themselves.
Yes, it's coming back to me. First, it's important to listen very carefully to each juror's statement. Then, if it sounds as though one of those statements might contradict another, I have to pit the corresponding 2 jurors against each other to prove one or the other of them wrong. Yes.
Yes, that's right. In many ways, it's very similar to a normal cross-examination.
Except instead of evidence, I have to do another statement. All right. All that remains now is to do it.
Without further ado, please, Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Deep breath, buddy. Let's go. Yes, my lord. Oh, excuse me. All right. The rebuttal. No reason to doubt the man. He's no reason to lie. That's just looking at his... Okay, I don't like that. No evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. Wait, I can press them too. Hold on. Well, let me press... I'm gonna press the lady. Because she... There's no evidence for now. Hold on. A fraudsman, what do you mean by that, madam?
This really is a most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued.
I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you?
I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Cuss Company.
Good gracious, Altamont, that's... I feel like that's a conflict of interest, ma'am.
Gas the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont gas is the best in the world, of course.
Okay.
I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr.
Wait, solve the mystery of the bow from earlier? Wait, what? Right, oh, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? Oh. Ah, so would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamster was up to in his room?
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go to in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman, but to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean Mr. Shamspeare is...
I wouldn't come out and say it in public,
but you could finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief.
Oh. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin? But seraphs hear not insults, only choirs of angel and song. We may not have the evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find out. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an Altamont gas explosion.
So Mr. Shamspeare has been stealing gas. Ooh, he's been stealing gas? I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before that part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
This could be it. This could shift the balance. The victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality, he's a common thief of my company's gas.
So I'm gonna pit her against... I think he's rather splendid. I think I kind of want to pit her against Homegirl because her statement's really vague, but it might be better if I pit the two rich people against each other. Let's do that. Yeah.
Objection.
Nope, that was wrong because the music didn't stop. Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another.
My lord, as foreman of the journey, I must object.
What?
Being their leader, it's my duty to stand up for all jurors here present, and stand up for them I will.
I concur with the foreman. Counsel, I warn you. I shan't abide any pettifoggery. Damn it.
Until you've got your facts straight, keep your pointy fingers to yourself. I'm gonna point my finger at you, and then you tell you to keep your pointy fingers to yourself. There's too much pointing in this court. You'll get the point.
We're trying to find inconsistencies in this juror's statements, Mr. Naruhodo. The key to it is comparing the different things they say before attempting to pit them against one another. Okay, well then I guess I have to press him. I'll give it another go. Let's press this guy. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars?
I've no doubt about it. Even somebody ripped a really bad fart in the courtroom. Like that shaky client of yours, for example.
Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar.
Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer.
Well, that's alarmingly logical.
But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'd gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
What's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care about, oh my god, I keep losing the damn accent.
I don't really care about all this nonsense, I just need this trial to be over.
How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir, I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. If you can show me that victim's a liar, I'll reconsider. How about I pit them against each other now? You know what? No, I'm gonna continue pressing.
Hold it!
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all. Not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Hold it!
No, not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. Dude, one of your reasons is just he's Japanese. That's racism, my guy. Well, xenophobia specifically, but y'all know what I'm saying. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big-chinned man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, there's another 3 steps. Oh, I thought he was realizing something. No, he's just stupid. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more. I feel like I'm not gonna get much from him, so I'm gonna go ahead and press this guy. What do you really mean by that, sir?
Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do.
At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you?
What's that now?
I said you're an early riser.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on. He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5. Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night. What's that, dear? Only 3 hours of sleep each night. That's right, you see. 3 hours of missing time. Like I said, not much, is it?
This really isn't helping.
The key to summation examinations is identifying contradictions between juror statements.
Yes, I know that. Okay. Maybe if I'll try again. I'll try again with the foreman and then the lady. The bee lady. Now that he's technically changed his statement. If you're unable to do that, the judge will declare the trial over and move to adjudication. And I can't let that happen. Somehow or another, I have to turn this trial around. Okay, you. And you.
Objection.
Okay, so I was right. I just hadn't pressed him yet. I needed specifically to get the secondary part of his statement in order for it to count. Okay, those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! Whose statements do you prefer, counsel?
Juror number 1.
What are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas.
Well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, I don't have evidence as such, just yet.
But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me, seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor.
Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt.
Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it, as I'm sure the other gentlemen of this jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we've found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if this means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground.
Oh no. I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shamspeare, if that is your real name, you Shamspeare, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of man you really are.
Aha. The tables have turned. That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty.
Yes, Mr. Norihodo.
Victory! I wouldn't say victory just yet, but why are y'all standing in the...
Order! Order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord.
Of disaccord? I'm just kidding.
And order the trial to continue.
A toast to us throwing this back in your face. Oh no, quit wasting wine. You have spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shamspeare.
Uh-oh.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury will now find they are unable to trust you, the victim.
Oh no, I'm just like a bad little victim. Oh my god, they don't trust me. I'm a bad little victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gas man speaketh that which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul.
Oi, what did you say?
Do I take it, Mr. Shakespeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery?
Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot? I am as a seraph, an angel.
Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart.
Ah, you flowery-mouthed, pompous beanpole! Just 'cause I haven't got the evidence yet!
Mr. Shakespeare, if, in fact, you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom.
It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no. Don't do that, please.
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
Oh, Hiengi, I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas and this case are unrelated. Juror number 4.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do.
Don't we? A worker. Worker whose name I'm never going to remember. Absolutely, Lady Quenby. Gasman's honor.
Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord, it'll be my pleasure. On the ultimate gas name If
I may, my lord.
Go ahead, madame.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
That is a very direct conflict of interest. Woohoo! Oh yeah, sweet as honey. Yeah. Dude, chill.
Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed at all.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting. You mark my words. What a fucking fanboy.
So we will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel.
Yes, is that clear, my good man?
Clear as Altamont gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world.
Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Miss Susanoo?
I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.
A little too dedicated. I'm like a little bit concerned.
I'm proud to be the company's Eastern branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept threepenny bits. Threepenny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? Sorry, that's not the Altamont gas. That's my gas. It's not as good.
Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. He said I had to fucking drink because his testimony was too stupid.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks?
Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Dude, that's the second one. You just... Stop doing that. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your eastern island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be the crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. I don't think I've seen him do that. Did y'all fucking see the flick of the wrist? Do what you will.
Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood.
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. He's a sham! All right.
Hold it!
So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters?
That I do. I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business.
Does that mean you've been in Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspear?
Well, now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, it really is.
Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books.
And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth.
You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman.
Not much to say, really, but as you wish.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model, the height of technology developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So if a 3p coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night.
A bit more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is.
Thinking about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating.
Oh yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins. Sorry, that's more of my gas.
I just start hearing like the gallery just like, oh my god, like what is that? I must say the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean? I wish I had a fan. I want to like, I mean I have a fan, but it's not as like, it's not a feather fan like that. I wish I had a fan so when I'm reading her lines I can just like, because I feel the need to do it. I can't, and I can't. I don't have one. I'm in your fan. You're in my fan? Oh, I thought I read that wrong. You are a fan. No, I mean like a hand fan. Yes, exactly right. I like that she has this like little hornet umbrella. Is that an umbrella, I think?
Hold it!
Cane? It looks like an umbrella. Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
Weeks and weeks! He's been pinching gas off us for ages. That's what it sounds like when he's pinching off gas.
And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room, I take it. That's a bee-booty-brella. It is a bee-booty-brella. Umbrella, cane, gun, sword, who could say? A gunbrella?
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume.
No, afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. A Sham-Spear Special.
That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces.
But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found it bare.
You what? I said, you what?
And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trick. Why are you, sir? Sir. Listen, I'm not trying to kink shame. This is a public courtroom. We're in the middle of, you know, litigating. Can you stop? Not a trace of it being jimmied open anywhere. Not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I've still got it.
Oh.
Right here.
He just whips it out of his pocket like that. No wonder they call you meter men.
I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing.
Yay, it has been added to my court record. I'm gonna need to take a look at that. Let's take a little gander. All right. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax, too.
So if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would...
You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Is there any skull? Oh, there's a hole! Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Sham-Spear?
Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it.
But it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there.
That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
There's a suspicious hole! A sussy hole, if you will. I'll stop, I'm sorry. Anyway. What that gas meter hole do?
Hey, yo!
Amazing. Although at first glance there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it, but we did look at it and it does have a hole. Let's God damn it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with.
Hold it!
But it does. Aha! I can actually probably contradict this in a minute. There's only one key for all your meters?
Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. But even if someone had somehow managed to get a hold of the key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened.
Oh, how?
I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens.
Would you care to explain?
Well now, in order to empty a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. But when I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see. A seal? Like the sort of thing you'd put on an envelope, you mean? Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal. Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspeare's meter, there were no coins inside at all, as I said. But the seal hadn't been broken either. So that would mean Mr. Shamspeare somehow managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it. Like the hole! But then they said the coins... We'll get there.
It would seem so, but that would be impossible.
He's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny.
Hold it!
How do you know that he's been using gas, though? Well now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. And on every single occasion, his lamps have been blazing and his stove pounding. It's the middle of winter, and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says, "Get thee to a nunnery!" Hamlet indeed. I could wring the bloke's neck. I get all hot under the collar, but still. Every time I open up that flaming meter, it's empty! He's robbing me of my salary, too! What's wrong with the world? Where's the justice? But how can Mr. Shamspeare possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. The simple explanation is right before your eyes. What? A toast to you eventually realizing that the gasman could be an accomplice. Well, he's not, but okay. You what? Good lord, eminently plausible indeed. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh, please, Lady Quinby, I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money us gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas has been used, you docker pay by the same amount. So you'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly that makes no sense.
Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war.
No, no, no! I'm not gonna stir up that hornet's nest! If I went stealing from the company, I'd be finished. It would seem there is no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim, because Mr. William Shamspeare is innocent. He's just gonna keep throwing those glasses back there. Push the coins back out the meter when you... when you stick something up the gas. Sorry. You could push the coins back out the meter when you stick something up in the gas meter. Couldn't he do one of those little moves where you like tie a string to the coin and you just kind of like and then you pull it out? I feel like that. Actually, wait, that might be where they're going. Or yeah, you have to stick something to block the hole, and then that's really complicated. I don't think he should be sticking anything up the hole. That's really the point there. I think I skipped a line. Oops. I certainly didn't expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room.
According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsume.
I know it does seem that way, but the fact is... Yeah, that's totally what you're thinking. Since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that are interlinked.
Oh.
It might seem that two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they're intimately connected.
Yes, we've experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if this is another instance.
Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. If the Altamount Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shamspeare so earnestly, there must be something to it. But then how has he been managing to steal their gas? Okay. Where is the... Meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, so I'm going to present. But ma'am, look at this hole! That's the wrong button. Look at this hole!
Objection.
There it is. I ruined the moment. Lady Altamount, I'm afraid to say, there's a hole!
that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it! In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole? What? You're right, you're quite right. There is a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. What if I just start giving her his voice, like she puts on an accent, but then she's actually like, really one of these motherfuckers that speaks like this. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamster secretly opened up the hole himself. I can already tell that this is gonna be... Oh boy, okay. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why? Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing thing through that. Or a whatever. The farthing is a piece of money, I think. God damn it, I'm all over the place. I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1-penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a threepenny bit? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up because now I'm scared of saying it wrong. Penny bit, or whatever it is. The British 3p piece, usually known as a 3p threepence, or I guess threepenny would be. So how do you say it? Pronounced variously. Threepence? There's threepence. Threepence. And then there is threepence. Thrupney? Thrupney, let's say thrupney. I think thrupney is probably the most correct. I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much from this game. I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit. I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. Yeah, it's thickness. It's girthiness. It's gotta know the thickness. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, excuse me, I'm so sorry. As you wish, my lord. Designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a threepenny bit. Nothing else will fit.
Hold it!
But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3p coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally be used. Would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well. We've thought of that though anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. They what is a fine? We live for moments like that, us gasmen do. Live for them.
It would seem the gas company has thought of everything.
Wahoo! Hooray for gas! Hurrah for cash! Ultimate all the way!
That's quite enough of that.
Remind me, how big are threepenny bits?
About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Norohodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. Delve deeper, please. I would like to learn more. How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced, I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it. Whoa, yeah, nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. Okay, so... there's no way to dismantle it. I'm missing something. This had a... wait, there's a circular depression on this. It said I hadn't looked at this, but I remember looking at this last time. But whatever, I'll look at it again. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across. Oh, I needed to look at it again because of the, okay.
Or 3/4 of an inch. Do you think?
We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window, so we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly.
Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Oh, it's been updated. Hold on.
Hold it!
I want to switch it back to the other one. Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense.
What do you think, Mr. Norohodo? Is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Okay, I'm gonna put it back to the coin thing. Yes. Ask the other question again. And skip. Add it to your testimony, blah, blah, blah. And then... I keep hitting the wrong button. I keep hitting the back button, not the forward button. Nothing else will fit. But what if I present to her this?
Objection.
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap!
let you off your rocker. That's a bar of soap.
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. Okay, this is where the precision comes in, right? No, I'm just kidding. Surely this won't be as persnickety as that one thing that I had to do. All right, what's so important about the soap is this part here. I will point it out. Boom! There's that funny little round depression in the middle of the soap.
Yes, it's a perfect circle. And I would say almost 3/4 of an inch in diameter.
Rather like something else we've been talking about recently, in fact.
Mr. Norohodo, it's this part of the soap you need to show to the court.
So I will present it. Got it! You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean.
Oh,
Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or, in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit.
get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
Something 3/4 of an inch. I don't think you want to do that, though. The hole's too small.
It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now, to see if it fits.
Oh?
My word, it couldn't be more snug.
That's what she said. My word, it couldn't be more snug. As I suspected, this without a doubt is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. Oh my god, she has like a little bee skirt. He's wasting wine again. So your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit.
I must concur at least that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time.
This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeare has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet.
But this is all nonsense! If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont, in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear.
I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air. Yes. Exactly, and the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room.
If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once.
Where on the meter can the remnants of the method use? I'm pretty sure it's the hole at the bottom, right? Oh god. Yes, there's a hole at the bottom. There's a hole in the bottom of the meter. There's a hole in the bottom of the meter. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the bottom of the meter. Oh, it goes, these were new lines. I don't know why I thought that was, okay, so, hold about, it looks as though it was made by somebody who didn't really have the right tools. It does actually go all the way through to the inside, though it's hard to see that unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right into the part of the meter where the money ends up. I suppose it's nothing then. Oh. Well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you?
No, I suppose not.
But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole here?
Got it!
Got it! We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap.
Ah! I get it!
That's right. The answer, of course, is ice.
Did you say ice?
Mr. Shamspear had been leaving— That's actually not what I thought it was gonna Yum, soap. No, don't eat soap, it's poisonous. In fact, I'm pretty sure that was what poisoned him. No, strychnine poisoned him, but we thought it was soap at first. I was actually thinking that what he did was he put wax, like they had talked about melted wax being used. They would put wax in the mold and that would make the fake. I thought like the heat from the gas was melting the wax, but I guess that would leave an actual residue. Ice is better. It's still melting, but it would melt away or evaporate. Or yeah, it would turn into gas. It would literally dissipate into thin air. Yes, okay, wait, this is, okay, it's making sense. Okay. Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas.
Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water.
That's right, madam.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless.
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence!
Sorry.
I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she?
Oh my god, Susanoo's gonna cry. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it.
What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory?
I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little while at the time. Or a little I don't know why I added a word there. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with could now explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspear has been stealing gas is... That's not it. Oh, the photo, duh. Here it is.
Take that!
The water under the meter. Duh. This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? The water under the puddle! Wait, the water under the meter! I fucked that up. Now look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. There's a puddle!
What is that? Some kind of grubby stain?
Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter.
Oh.
If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly. Water, god damn it, Kimmers. Listen, this is like, words just come out of my mouth sometimes, you know, like mithril onion, and I fuck it up all the time. The poison for Cusco's poison. The puddle under the meter, the water puddle under the meter. Meter above what? Puddle water floor. I'm such an idiot. Okay, leaving a stain on the floor.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence too. Are you gonna talk about the fact that he was literally carving a... Mr. Shamspear is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there...
Words.
Words. And right there next to him is a bar of soap broken in half.
All right. It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soup, was he?
Pardon for the disagreeing. For me, just...
fuck, brain, words, hard, what? Squirrel?
I don't know who said that, but that's a fucking mood. That's a fucking mood. I feel that. I feel that on such a deep, like, inner core level. I feel that. The words hard, squirrel, that, yes. I just did it. Anyway. Pardon me for disagreeing with you, your lordship, but... Certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand.
A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van Zix.
Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap.
Oh! But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious! Oh, flip! Damn, that's 2 bottles now. 2 bottles. On top of like the 6 glasses or something he threw back. Lord Van Zix! I was throwing my hand up in despair and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray, forgive my maladroit mistake.
What is the meaning of this, Counsel?
Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you just fart? What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross?
William Shamspear is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable.
That's it! That's exactly it! Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the teeth. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Uh-oh. I'm about to be in trouble again. Even if William Shamspear is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. God damn it, I was doing so well and I fucked it up at the last minute. Run it back. Try it again. The prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... what? I'm not allowed to be cool. I can't have a single cool moment in my life.
Order! Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Mr. Hoodoo, Get up, buddy. It ain't over yet. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? Objection. I'm gonna bluff my way through this. Phoenix Wright style. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What?
But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified this and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shamspear to consume gas. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. Ooh, we got him on the ropes now! But the situation has changed now following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand. Don't be absurd, what is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely... was the poison in the tea? Wait, hold on. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. But what if he's lying about being poisoned? Because he's a liar. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed?
The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea?
The teacups. I guess. Just kidding. Guess not. It was wrong. Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to the tea in some small way. They are teacups. I feel like it's not totally unfair. And you will be digging for a very long time indeed, my learned friend. I fucked up. Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense in that absurd assertion. Ugh. Okay, well that was wrong. That was incorrect. That was not the one. Sometimes I wish I could disappear down a deep chasm to escape his deep sarcasm.
And I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time. What evidence?
Well, the nature of the defendant's tea? Wait. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't tell me anything. From the scene of this? This?
Take that!
God damn it, I don't know. I need to really get my shit together. We're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna reload if I fuck up.
Take that!
Save's coming! Whee! Oh, shit, I don't know. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? I already picked the ones that seem obvious. Maybe I have to- wait, maybe it's one of the- no? It didn't- okay, no, that's not it.
Take that!
Oh my god! I genuinely- I'm having trouble now. What the hell? It has to- What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? I've already done the teacups. I've done the envelope. I've done the picture. The medical report?
Take that!
No, what the fuck? Is this entire line of questioning wrong?
Take that!
The soap. Really? The soap? Whatever.
Good gracious! The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice?
Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday.
It's more bars of soap.
So, what are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
There was something strange about them, you mean?
Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. Wow, I did not remember that. In my defense, I did not remember that at all. That is that's because okay. I feel a little better about not making those. Anyway, they were red. The ice was red. No, you mean? That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. Aha, so he didn't even drink the tea. What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result! Never will I touch tea again, never! Oh, I have a little kitty cat who's trying to get my attention. She says, Mother, it's time for you to shut up.
Well, yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing.
So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins.
My word!
There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene.
That's right, and we only borrowed one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window.
Extraordinary!
Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even one drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all.
Ah, you smug Nipponese.
That's really not necessary to say to him, sir. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. The poison for Cusco.
Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood.
See, my bailiff voice. That's my bailiff voice. Right, Vidna? He's looking at me like, you are so weird, Mom. You are the weirdest.
It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zieks?
None, my lord.
Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and the defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim.
Yes, my lord. He upsetty. He a little bit upsetty. Well. We managed to scrape through there somehow.
Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Yay! I feel like that's probably a good stopping point too. Yeah, it's a to be continued, and that's a great stopping point because then we'll start with we can start with the next investigation. I'm not like in the middle of anything. It's probably gonna prompt me to save. Perfect. I will save that. I'm gonna save right over the really bad mistake I just made. On number 7. Awesome. Investigation part 3. And before that gets all started, we'll call it quits. All right, so this is where I'm gonna end for tonight, everybody. Thank you guys for putting up with me for all my funny voices, and also, it seemed like we fixed the stuff. Somehow. Maybe it was a shoddy little... I'm gonna play with my adapter some more, because this is the adapter that I bought for my Steam Deck, so... or part of it. Yeah, it seemed to be... Maybe it was just loose. Maybe I just needed to... I'll check my stuff. So hopefully nothing is broken or, you know, fraying or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for putting up with that for the brief moment. I'm glad we got it fixed. And I'll be streaming again on Friday, and we'll be doing some actual... Oh, Mindy's gonna say bye to everybody. She says, I'm sleepy. It's time for beddy. Bye. Oh, nope, she's gonna climb. All right, well, while she's climbing me like a tree, as she normally does, let's see who's live that we can raid on over. Let's see. Oh, ow, oh, ow! Ow! Minda, oh god, you are extra sharp today. What are you doing? Ow, okay, you're really hurting me. Get down. Ow! Scratch the shit out of me. I wonder if she heard those sounds. Anyway, how about we raid Foe? He's playing some Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remix. That sounds pretty fun. It's been a minute since we've raided Foe too, so let's do that. Go visit on over. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one. You have a good night. Bye.